Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Brown's Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski. You can call me Grizzer, and this is game day, fellas. The Niners are in town, and this is where we get you caught up on some of the latest news and tidbits that are tied to our favorite team in the NFL, the Cleveland Browns. The elf on the wall should have told you. Thank you to everybody who has liked our previous episodes, who have subscribed to the channel. We are like that close to 11,000 subscribers. When we get there, we'll give the orange quarter zip a rest and change the fit for just one show. Don't know exactly what I'm wearing yet for 11,000, but 12,000 Shedeur jersey, that's a lock. When we get to 12,000, the 12 jersey goes on. Also, thank you to everyone who gets your comments down there in the viewer comment section. Without you, this show would not be possible. Coming up on today's show. Now, there's a good chance the Browns, they're going to have to win today by a foot. While you're watching this game, the weather is only going to be half the story when it comes to our kicking game. Our bold predictions include a unique stat line for Shedeur Sanders. And in the viewer comments, we'll finish this sentence. The Browns have a good chance to win if, I wonder what they said. But first things first, we got to dig into our pocket and pull out our keys to the game. Keys to victory for the Browns. I think first and foremost, we got to get the tight ends involved early and often. I don't care what the weather is today. I don't think it's going to be as bad as everybody's trying to make it out to be. I think they can't cover tight ends, and we have a couple of good ones. And so I think that's an easy way to get the passing game going with Shedeur, those tight end screens, things like that. I think it's very possible still, even when the weather is a little iffy. Shedeur has to make quick decisions. He's trying to throw receivers open, too. I'd like to see those drags with Judy even. Just get him... Get that defensive back on his hip and get him on his back and hit him in stride, much like he did with Samson on that screen pass last week. You can use a little of that today, too. You could still throw the ball despite the weather. You just don't. I mean, you just may not be able to throw it as deep as many times. I was really hoping we could, But, I mean, it's still a possibility. But I think the tight ends have to get involved early and often. You got to still try to establish the run game. They're pretty good against the run, man. Actually, they're really good against the run. But they're horrible against the pass. So, I'm not saying you don't try. But how about this? And if you can't run the ball on them, go with some of those extended runs. Again, like that screen pass to Samson, that swing we ran against the Raiders, things like that. But you can use the receivers in that game too. Or you can even use Samson. Put Samson in a slot. Hit quick hits, quick hitches. And if they're going to crowd the line, that's when you go deep. Get them over the top. So I think there's still going to be some opportunities to throw the ball. It's going to be critical today. We're going to have to be able to throw the ball because I don't think San Francisco's going to be able to throw the ball. Not on our defense. Not the way our defensive line is playing. Our DBs. Some of those sacks last week, those were covered sacks. They did a nice job on Bowers. Tyson Campbell was helping out on Bowers. Denzel Ward was even helping out on Bowers. And this week's version of Bowers is George Kittle. So nothing changes there. They can slow him down as well. I think what's also going to be critical, speaking of slowing somebody down, obviously Christian McCaffrey. You cannot let him get loose. But, I mean, seeing what we've done with even like Genty last week, but Derrick Henry and some of these other running backs we've faced, we've done a nice job for the most part on running backs. Genty, he had to work hard for every yard. I think that's what you do with McCaffrey. It's the same way because they're going to use him kind of like the Raiders are using Genty, but it's going to be like next level. This is his total yards per game are up there, and so. He's a factor in the passing game as much as he is in the running game. So, if you can just contain him, I'm not saying, you're going to be able to completely shut him down or at least slow him down, make him earn his yards. That's going to help a lot. And I think a huge key to this game today, if we're going to win, is if the defense can create a couple of short fields for the offense. whether it's a pick, whether it's a strip sack and a fumble that we can recover, I think that will be critical. If we can get one or two of those, the Browns are winning for sure. Now, what to watch for while we're playing the 49ers today? It'll be interesting to see what the weather does to San Francisco and how they use McCaffrey. They're not going to like this weather. That's a huge advantage for us. I mean, that's an extra key. The weather is actually a key to victory, and it actually helps us because, we're used to this kind of thing. Shador played in Colorado, so I don't think Brock Purdy and the boys are going to like the cold and snow and wind very much. So it'll be interesting to see how it affects what they try to do on offense, and a lot of what they try to do involves Christian McCaffrey. I expect a very physical game, and I think it starts with the Browns. I think the Browns defense, they're going to get up in their grills. I think the offense will have that little extra hop in their step as well, like we saw last week with Shador. Shador just adds a mental element for everybody. Like that defense knows we have a chance to score points now, that we have a real NFL quarterback running the show. Tight end screens, I think today. Watch for them. I think we should get off a couple of them, or even like I just said, some of those bubble screens. If you get Sampson or Judy in a slot, Bond as well. Jet sweeps with Bond. I think Bond with some screens. I think we got to start using Bond like Kansas City used Tyreek Hill back in the day. Like, he is that kind of player. You got to get him in space. You don't need to, yes, we should take some deep shots with him. I don't know if today's going to be the day, but if you can't do it on a day like today, getting him deep, then you got to figure out some other ways. And it's going to be those quick hitches, quick screens, things like that, man. I think the screen game, you got to get the screen game going today. So watch out for it. This is what we teased at the top. Holy Szmyt could be critical today. Kicking into conditions. We haven't seen that yet. We have not seen him kick in conditions like this. And I mean, he's been pretty good on the road, but kicking at home in Cleveland, and this is one of the tougher places to kick, especially when this time of year. So we'll all be watching to see how he does kicking in the conditions. And then, I mentioned it, I'd love to see the Brownies watch to see how they try to get the run game going. You have to try. But you don't have to go first down, handoff, Judkins stuffed. Look for some unique ways to get the running game going. And it may not be Judkins or Sampson. I mean, we've gotten Corley involved sometimes. Like, you might have to do some different things to loosen that San Francisco run defense up a little bit. Again, creativity, man. We're going to need some creativity on offense, especially in a game like this. Bold predictions. I think Holy Szmyt makes at least 3 field goals today. That's the kind of game it's going to be. I think that he's going to be a big factor. There's your bold prediction. Holy Szmyt. Will he come through? I think the Browns are going to hold McCaffrey under 70 total yards, which is like holding Derrick Henry to under 25 yards rushing, because he's usually good for at least 60 yards rushing and 60 yards receiving, minimum. So if you could keep him to 70 total yards, you're doing something. Here's what I teased at the top. I think there's going to be a unique stat line for Shador Sanders, and I'm probably going to bet this. I think Shador Sanders is going to go over his rushing total. I think he's going for over 30 yards rushing. I think there are going to be times where he drops back, and whether it's, receivers slipping or something, depending on the conditions, I can see him pulling it and running it 3, 4, 5 times for, 30, 40 yards easy. These are the kind of days that happens. He just needs to make sure he gets down or gets out of bounds and doesn't take a hit. But I think that's a bold prediction from me. I think he's going to run a little bit today. Browns are going to get to Brock Purdy, and I think 3 is a 100% fact, but I'm going to 5. I'm going 5 sacks today, because after watching that game on Monday night, man, Purdy is a mess right now, and that was against Carolina. He was a mess, and now he gets us. the best defensive line in the league, yeah, they're going to get to him and they're going to knock him off his spot. And that's again, it goes back to the keys. This is what's going to really help win this game. A lot like that Miami game, a lot like the Vegas game. This is what we said at the beginning of the season. The defense can help set up the offense, but we had absolutely no offense until Shedeur showed up, which is why we are all losing our minds that Shedeur wasn't playing from the beginning of the year. But I think they'll get to Purdy 5 times today. That's my bold prediction. And I think the Browns are winning today for sure. I have a really good feeling. I think San Francisco is catching us at the wrong time. With Shedeur and all of the intangibles that he brings and what he is doing for this offense and the way our defense is playing, they don't want any part of our defense right now. And the Browns are going to win this game. I feel like a 23-13 win. I think Holy Szmyt kicks a few field goals, and we do find the end zone once or twice. And it's not going to be anything on Shedeur. If the offense, it's going to be now. If the weather turns out to be better, as the day goes on, then it could be a completely different script, and you could be able to throw it around the yard. But right now, the wind I think is going to be the big factor in this game. So I'm going 23-13 Browns for sure. I'm betting them. I'm betting them to win. You can keep your points because I am taking the Brownies. And now the best game day viewer comments on the planet are here, and we will start with Ohenhen 48-44. Is Ohenhen a hen? Don't know. But Ohenhen, a 48-44 says, it is going to be conservative play calling in that weather. It doesn't have to be, though. It can be conservative to a point, but here's the thing. Stefanski will use that as his excuse as to why he doesn't kick the training wheels off of Shedeur when we're at the end of this game. We're losing our minds and going, why the heck didn't we throw the ball? He will absolutely use the weather as an excuse. But I don't think you don't have to make the weather the reason you're calling conservative plays. You don't have to call conservative plays because, like I said, screens, things like that, man, that's not being conservative. If you're hitting them and even if you're like I said, extended runs. If they're gonna bottle up the run, then just take 5 or 6 yards on the outside, get to the outside and use those as extended runs. Just keep doing that and loosen up the run game. It's not that hard. Good play callers know how to do that. Flower Blue 9404 says, poor play calling leads to losing. 100%. We've been watching it with Kevin Stefanski for years. That's why he cannot call plays. 100% he can't call plays because it's stale and boring and everybody figures it out. Mike Vrabel, after we played the Patriots, clowned him and said, yeah, after they got through their gadget plays, that was it. We knew exactly what they were doing. That's just brutal when you got another coach saying that about your play caller, who at the time was Kevin Stefanski. So we'll see what Tommy Rees can dial up here. Hopefully we're not talking about poor play calling. In the instant reaction show, Nimrod 4065 says the Browns have a good chance to win if Stanky does not call the plays. He's not calling the plays, Nimrod. He is not. Tommy Rees, Tommy boy, he will make all of the play calls today. We just got to keep Stanky out of the way. That's the big thing. Let's not get him involved. I don't want him punting from the opponent's 29-yard line again. That's why he is burying himself with those kinds of decisions. 100%. Even if he gives up the play calling and he still makes horrible head coaching decisions. Ugh. Better not see any of that today. And we will end. No, we're not done yet. I'm sorry. Jerry F. 1098 says, sorry, Grizz. I love the way this starts. I hate the way this ends. Here we go. Jerry F. 1098. Sorry, Grizz, but I'm predicting it now. Shedeur balls out and runs the table. Browns make the playoffs, and your boy Stefanski wins his 3rd coach of the year. Now, everything's good up until your boy Stefanski. No, not my boy. And if you've watched any second of this show, you know Stefanski is not my boy. And him winning his 3rd coach of the year, That's the problem. We're like in a conundrum here, right? This is a catch-22 because Shedeur balls out, wins out. We get a wild card spot. Stefanski's not going anywhere because they're going to give Stefanski the credit, which we all know should get the credit. It's going to be Shedeur, Tommy Rees for his play calling. I say if Shedeur, here's the reason you fire him even if Shedeur balls out, because Stefanski is the one who did not see the talent. Stefanski's the one who stifled Joe Flacco. Stefanski is the one who put all of his eggs in the undersized left-handed Dillon Gabriel, take him in the third round. Like, those are if Shedeur goes and balls out and we end up not making the playoffs and blowing this entire season because of Kevin Stefanski, all the more reason to fire him. I'd make Schwartz the head coach, Tommy Rees, I'd love, if it all works out and he wants to stay, but that UCLA job calling, he may want to go there. So, he grew up there. There's a lot of reasons for him to go, but that remains to be seen. So, no, even if he balls out, Jerry F., and we win the rest of the games, and we get to the playoff, Stefanski still should be fired for all of those reasons right there that you mentioned. So, great take, Jerry F., except for the last part. And we'll end today with Mike Uncle. Not Uncle Mike. Mike Uncle. I like it. I like the little trickeration there, a little reverse, like a flea flicker on your handle. Showtime is the name for Shedeur. Everybody, we're trying to come up with the right nickname for Shedeur. And it all started with me saying for Shedeur the other day. But a lot of people bring up Showtime because his dad is Primetime. So Primetime and Showtime. I'm a fan of alliteration too. So Showtime, Shedeur. I don't hate that at all. But it's going to continue today. He's going to be solid. The weather's the thing. It's like I'd love to see if the weather was good, because the other thing is, don't forget, Shanahan is owned by Jim Schwartz. So that's why I think the defense is getting off today, because Shanahan has no chance against Schwartz. Schwartz is 9-1 against him. When Schwartz is the defensive coordinator for the team that Kyle Shanahan is playing, and Kyle Shanahan is calling the plays and running his offense, Schwartz wins 9 out of 10 times. So he understands what he's trying to do, and he is good at taking it away. And so all Shedeur doesn't need to go too crazy, but I think he's going to build on what happened last week, and he will 1,000,000% solidify his spot as QB1, and Dillon Gabriel will be holding a clipboard for the foreseeable future. All right, that's going to do it for today again. Okay, everybody stay warm. Although, the people who watch in the Virgin Islands and Australia and all that, okay, you guys don't have to worry about staying warm today. People here in Cleveland, we do. We have to worry about staying warm. Actually, for the last few days, it's been snowy and cold, but that's okay, because late November, early December in Ohio, that's the way it's supposed to be, especially Northeast Ohio. Get the lake effect snow going, get the lake effect snow machine going. But it's going to be a fun game. This is going to be a fun one, folks. I'm betting the Brownies. They are winning today, and we will be here after the game with our instant reaction video. So you can look forward to that. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's go. Let's beat the Niners. I wish the ball was working so we could play the song, but the ball doesn't work anymore. That's okay, because we're still going to win 100%. Go Browns. We will see you after the game, and we'll see you next time.